welcome to episode 29 of the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker, and I am a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. It has been a while. Over Christmas, I just decided to take a break. I really love podcasting, and I really love knitting and designing, but this happens to me every year too, is I get really burnt out. And Christmas is my absolute favorite time, especially right now because Georgia is little and everything is really fun and really exciting, and decorating's a thing and presents and doing all the fun Christmas stuff. Like it's kind of a big deal. So I took December off and half of January apparently. I still knit. I just didn't knit any design stuff, and I was still on Instagram, but I didn't post anything to Instagram, and it was wonderful. And I think that that's gonna be a thing. Like, December is family-wise always the craziest. There's always stuff to do, and I don't know, I feel like I need a break every once in a while, and I'm very bad at doing that throughout the year, especially when it comes to like September, October, and then with Knit City and books, and then the gift along is in November. So like there's all this really big knitting things happening right before December, and then by the end of it I'm just done. So I don't know, I think it was really awesome to have that time off. I feel like I'm ready to really get back into things. I've been feeling more creative. I really enjoyed just knitting some things for myself and my family. And yeah, I think that's gonna be a thing where I just don't work in December. I don't know. I'm my own boss. I can do what I want, right? With that being said, I do have lots of stuff to show you, and I'm really excited to be back. So thank you for waiting. And thanks for coming back. I hope you all had a really great Christmas and a really great New Year's. Yeah. I just wanted to start off by saying I have a couple of knit-alongs and giveaways to wrap up, but I'm not going to do that now. No, I'm not going to do that now because I have a very limited amount of time at the moment. But everything that's open on Ravelry right now, I know there was the Persica Lilium knit-along that I was doing with Ancient Arts, and then there was the From the Stars giveaway, pattern giveaway, and then the Pip and Pin knit-along on Instagram that all kind of ended. So I'm going to wrap those up, and I'm going to tell everyone everything on either Instagram or Ravelry or both. So if you are a winner of something, keep your eyes on Ravelry, really. I'll get in touch with you. I'm not going to start any new knit-alongs right now. I don't have anything in the works. I don't know. I've been feeling like I'm really enjoying participating in knit-alongs, and kind of hosting them it's a lot of work. And I don't know. I just feel like right now sometimes it keeps me from doing things. Like you may have noticed that the quality of the video is a little bit different. I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out yet because this is my first time doing it, but I got a new phone over December as well. So I'm filming on my phone instead of my big fancy camera. I don't have my microphone this time because if I use my microphone, then it's two separate things, so I have to combine them while I'm editing, and that takes a really long time. So I'm just trying to like streamline everything at the moment. And along the same lines as knit-alongs and things like that, they're just a lot of work, and I feel like it was kind of keeping me from well, the past couple weeks anyways, it was keeping me from recording because I was like, oh, I have to do this before and I have to do this before and this and this. And I have all these things that I have to do before I can film it. And I've just decided to take those things kind of out of the equation. For now, we'll see. It's not a forever thing, but I'm sure I'll be doing giveaways and things in the future, maybe some more knit-alongs as well, but not right now. Yeah. So I finished lots of things. Well, I guess I'll start with what I'm wearing because it's on my body. This is my Harvey pullover. It is a pattern from Hannah Baker, and it is my top knit of 2018, I would say. I've pretty much been wearing it at least once a week since I finished it, and I think I finished it in like October, maybe November. It's been a good 2 or 3 months where I've been wearing it at least once a week, and honestly, most of the time more, depending on who I'm seeing. If I'm not going to see anyone 2 days in a row, then I'm probably going to be wearing this 2 days in a row. It's just one of those patterns that like I made it really loose gauge, which makes it so it's very pilly, but that's okay. I have a gleaner, so that's fine. But it's really loose, so it's drapey, and it's just easy to kind of throw on over everything. Like right now, I don't, nothing against it, but I don't wear sweatpants in public. I wear jeans and skirts and occasionally leggings if my shirt is long enough. But I got a pair of sweatpants because we're going up to the mountain this weekend, and I just wanted comfy pants for under my snow pants. So I bought a pair of sweatpants yesterday, and I'm wearing them, and put this sweater on because it was cold this morning, and I felt good enough in that outfit to go out. And that is saying a lot coming from me. I can't remember the last time I went out in sweatpants was probably in high school when it was a thing. But I made an outfit today, and I feel pretty good about it, and I'm really comfortable. Because of the sweater, because it's super casual, but also looks really nice. You know, it just makes it look like an outfit. Plus, Justin really likes it. So, I mean, when you wear something and your husband or significant other, every time you wear it, says that you look really good, well, you're just gonna keep wearing it. The yarn I used, I also really like. It is the fiber company Cumbria in Scaffold Pike, I think. And for the body, I just did it the regular Cumbria, which is like a lighter DK. And then the sleeves, because I ran out of it and bought the wrong thing. This sweater has a whole story. I'm not going to tell it all, but it has a story. The sleeves are actually the Cumbria fingering held double, so definitely don't pill as much, which is nice. But the body, because it's very flowy and very lovely, but it pills like a mother. I guess, yeah. So that's what I'm wearing today, and that's what I've been wearing for months. I do have some finished things. I have lots of finished things, actually. I'm not going to show all of them because a lot of them were gifts. I knit a couple of pairs of slippers for Christmas, one for myself and one for my mother-in-law. And they were the Mine by Faye Kennington. And super cute little pattern. They're just these super bulky slippers with some cabling just on the top of the foot. They're really, really cozy. I guess I could have shown them, but I don't know where they are right now, and they're probably just covered in stuff because I was super smart and made mine black. And black yarn, black like super bulky roving yarn just attracts everything. I don't know what I was thinking. It was just in my stash, so I did it. I'm not going to show them, but I made a couple of those. I made Georgia a really cute hat. And it was just kind of, maybe I'll pop a picture in if I decide to do any editing. If not, you can go find the project. All my projects are on Ravelry. They all have photos at the moment, which is super cool. Anyways, I made Georgia a little hat, and it has like stripes. I had a striped yarn and then a speckled yarn that I held together, and it's kind of just like a square. So it has these two little points kind of on her head, and then I put pom-poms on either end, but of course I can't find it. I don't know where it is, so I might have to make her another one. I don't know. She loses all the hats that I really love, and then there's like the random ones that she likes but that are like too small or something that are still around. So I don't know. I'm sure it'll turn up eventually. Most of her stuff always does, but especially when I'm knitting for her, I kind of, unless it's a sweater or something, I'm expecting it to get lost. Like if I knit her a hat or like a cowl or anything, I'm pretty much just expecting it to last a month or two and then be lost in the abyss somewhere, or she outgrows it. So I'm not too sad about it, but I'll just make her another one. It was really easy. It was really quick and fun and cute. And she liked it. So yeah, I'll make her another one. What else did I make that I'm not showing you? I finished up a new design. I don't know where it is either. I don't have notes. I didn't prepare. Sorry. But it's a little, again, you can find the project on Ravelry if you want, and I think I shared it on Instagram as well, but it's a little crop top pattern that's probably not going to come out until like the fall, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'll be talking more about it later. But it's actually a set of what we're going to be doing, which I think is really neat, is we're doing a set of patterns. This one has a little bit of lace at the shoulders and then kind of goes like this into a little crop top. We're also making an accompanying like a loose fitting t-shirt kind of with the same lace and then kind of the same neckline and everything. And then we're also doing like a tunic dress with the same elements. And we decided to hire some sample knitters, or some sample knitters. We have one sample knitter who is Rebecca, and she's from the island, and she's knitting up some of these samples because I really I made the crop top, and so I have the patterns for the other ones, but I just don't want to knit them. Like, I love knitting, and I love knitting my own designs, but like that was also something that was weighing on me a lot, where it was like, okay, I have these 3 things that I have to do in this certain amount of time so we can do pictures and everything, and then we also have this other project that we're working on, and I'm also doing something for a magazine, so it's just like so much stuff. And when I have too many things to do, I just kind of like shut down and don't do anything. So the beginning of the year was spent kind of getting all my ducks in a row and finding the sample knitter, and she has the yarn now, and she's going to start knitting them on the weekend. But like as soon as that was done, it was like, oh, now I have all this creative brain energy to think about what's coming next, which is another book that we're working on, but it won't be ready for like 2 years. But I have to start getting prepared for that now, so that everything's ready in time. But I just couldn't even think about it until these were done, and oh man, just like freeing up that space in my mind. I feel so good about everything right now. Let me tell you, like, if sample knitting, it's not gonna be cheap, but I think it's gonna be worth it, like, because I am totally a product knitter. When I knit something, like, I knit it because I want the end product. So sometimes designing things is hard, because not the designing aspect of it, but the knitting of it can be hard, especially like some of these are going to be in Katie's size and some of them are going to be in my size. So like knowing that I'm not going to be able to keep the end product is really hard for me. But there are other people, and I feel like you're either one or the other. Like you are a product knitter like I am, and you are knitting to get the object, or you're a process knitter. And process knitters, they knit to knit. So they don't even necessarily want the end product or care about the end product. The act of knitting is what it's important to them. And so that's where sample knitters come in. I think there are just these people who enjoy the process of knitting so much, but don't necessarily need to keep the end product. So I was super thankful to be able to outsource some of that to somebody else. So now I bought myself a new sketchbook, and like I've been sketching more and popping, actually having ideas. Like I was just so brain dead, and I feel very renewed after taking time off and finding someone to knit things for me. It's been lovely. And it's been nice. It's been nice being in a place where we're finally starting to be able to afford some things like that. So I think before it was, I was knitting everything because there was no guarantee that, the pattern would generate the money to cover, if it had been sample knit, and then there's tech editing, and then there's the cost of the yarn, and in certain cases, and all these other things, and then of course we kind of want to get paid as well. So that was never an option before, and it's kind of nice now that it's becoming more feasible to kind of outsource some of this stuff. So and that's all on you guys. That's your support. So I thank you for that. Thank you for continuing to support what we're doing so we can keep doing it. That was long-winded. Do you want to see some stuff that I've knit? Because I'm going to show you. The things that I am going to show you today are all of my socks. I have been on a sock knitting kick lately, and I'm really enjoying it. I got quite a few different, something else that happened over Christmas and stuff was the Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted, which was a really fun thing on Instagram, and basically you just put out into the world your wishes. If there's a certain, dyer that you love that you've never tried before, or anything really, you just throw your wish out there, and you can go through these other people's posts and grant wishes as well. So you can find someone like, I don't know, I gave away lots of patterns and lots of yarn that, like, just yarn that I didn't go out and buy anything, but if it was like a skein of yarn that was sitting in my stash that I just knew that I wasn't really into, well, then I sent it along to someone else who could use it. And then, so you grant wishes and then post your own wishes, and people grant them for you. It's really fun. And it's very addicting to find these people who you can grant wishes for. That's a really fun part for me, is searching through everything and thinking about what people would like. And it's all different things. Like some people just want scraps for blankets and things like that. So it's really fun. Anyways, one of the yarns that I got was this, and I did get such wonderful things, and they're all kind of sitting up there right now. But there's like I have a hanging basket thing that you just can't see, and it's all full of yarn right now. Most of which I got, or a lot of it, is from the get your yarn wishes granted. And I'm not going to show it all today, but all of it's so lovely that I feel like I will be using it in the near future, which is why it's all still out and not in my bins. So I think I'll just share it as I use it, because I will be using all of it. But a big thank you to everyone who granted my wishes. So anyways, one of the ones that I got was this yarn. And this is from, I didn't make any show notes. I know who it's from, but I'm just gonna double check, so I'm not saying the wrong thing. I don't really plan on going back and doing any fun things in here. Okay, yeah, I was right. So this beautiful self-striping yarn is from Tiny Human Knits, and it is the antique colorway, and I made them. Usually I'm a real big stickler when it comes to matching my stripes up, and this time I didn't, because I felt like I needed to, I don't know, do something different and not be so anal about stripes, which was really hard for me, especially because when I think I started with this one, and when I finished this one, it would have lined up pretty well perfectly to start right here again, and I actually had to like pull yarn out so that I could not so that I could unmatch them. Yeah, so I really enjoyed these ones. The contrasting color here is Poppy Yarn and Fiber. They're Highland sock. They're sock yarn in silk stocking, the silk stocking colorway. And this is actually the a little bit of extra yarn I had left over from the crop top that I made. I found Fish Lips Kiss. I think I've talked about this before, but this is my new favorite thing. I think I've made about 4 or 5 pairs, 4 or 5, I don't know, 3 or 4, a couple pairs of socks with it, and they are the best fitting socks that I've ever made. I don't know what it is. I think it's because you don't really use any more stitches or do anything differently than you would in an afterthought, or like a what's the other one, like a short row heel. Like it looks almost the same as a short row heel, but I think it, like, I don't know, it just like has this stretch along this part, and that's what's really important for me. So that is now it's just my go-to, and I've really been only making vanilla socks lately, or like slightly ribbed socks lately, but I think I'm going to start making I have some sock patterns that I really want to try, but I think if any of them have anything other than a Fish Lips Kiss heel, I'm going to be switching it out, because they just fit me so nicely. So why would I do anything else? So that is the first pair of socks that I finished. And I think that one I finished middle of December. And I have these guys. And this is my box of socks. And if you don't know what a box of socks is, it is literally a box full of socks. The idea behind it is to knit 12 pairs of socks in a year, and instead of knitting them and then wearing them, knitting them, placing them in a little lovely box, and saving them until the next year. So I won't actually be wearing any of these until 2020. And then I'll have 12 brand new pairs of socks to wear and put into my sock drawer. This is just a little tin that I picked up from Superstore, and I really like that it has the little like window, and I think they'll all fit in there. I don't know, I might be optimistic, but I feel like they'll squish. When I put one of these little like clay star things, and I put some lavender oil on there, so it'll really smell all nice too. And I have 2 pairs of socks in here, and these were both finished in January. This one, I should have had my other one on blockers. Where are my blockers? Oh, Georgia art. Mom and Dad. So, this first pair I started on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, probably Christmas Eve. And I finished them on New Year's Day, so like January 1st or January 2nd or something. And these are my fluorite socks, and this is a pattern by Andrea Mowry, and a beautiful fading pattern. And you kind of knit them inside out, because this is all reverse stockinette here, so you knit them inside out. And then I actually, I knit the toe. I do this with all the patterns that I follow. I kind of use the general directions and then decide to do things my own way. So I actually knit the toe inside out, and then I knit the body inside out. But the heel, I actually like flipped it right side out and knit this so that I was knitting this. You know what I mean? So that I didn't purl the heel. Like when I was making the toe, I was actually purling, and then when I was making the body, I was actually knitting, and then when I was making the heel, I flipped it inside out, or right side out, sorry, and then I was knitting, and then I flipped it again. In Andrea Mowry fashion, they are faded, and it's the first time I've ever like faded anything, and I really, really enjoyed it. I finished them in 5 days, so yes. Oh yeah, no, it would have been, yeah, that would have been Christmas Day I started them then. I finished them in 5 days, which is unheard of for me. And these yarns actually came from, I got a advent calendar, my very first advent calendar from 6 and 7 Fiber. And she did one where it was 12 days, which was really nice because it made it affordable. And so you got 12 mini skeins and then one full skein as the last day. So I opened them every second day because Georgia had an advent calendar as well. So I don't know, I couldn't wait. So I opened the one thing every second day. And so these were some of the yarns that came with it. I don't remember all of their names. I know this is oak, this brownie color here. I don't remember the other ones, but they're all my Ravelry thing. And this pink is one that I'm kind of in love with. The color is not showing up super great, but there's a lot of pink in there, and it is just beautiful. I don't know if it's a color that she dyes. Like, I think a lot of the colors in the advent calendar were just ones that she just kind of made for the advent calendar. I don't know if she actually dyes this one or not, but I hope so. It's really nice because I want more of it. A lot of the yarns that I got from that advent calendar kind of go, like, as I was opening them, I was like, oh, like this would make a nice fade. And they were 20 gram minis. And I was able to get, like, I did have to put in the pattern, I think you keep fading the heel, but like in this section here, that's when I was, cause you like alternate to fade it. And it was like right in the middle of here. And my brain couldn't handle trying to fade while doing this heel. So I just decided to do it in the brown to match the toe. Plus I wouldn't have had enough of this pink yarn, I don't think. So anyways, the pattern looks a little different than mine, but that's because I did it a little different. And then the third pair, these ones I just finished recently as well. These are just vanilla socks. This is Malabrigo sock yarn. Can't remember the colorway name, but it's all these. It's showing up super dark and super. Oh, yeah, these ones haven't been blocked yet. That's why they're being all weird. But it's like this dark blue with a little bit of greens, a little bit of purples, and then these pops of like, I'll put it there so it's not shining. These pops of like bright orangey red. And so what I did is I just, like, it's just a plain vanilla sock. I cast on 60 stitches on my US ones, or what are they, 3? I don't know. The needles that I use for my socks. And so they're just vanilla socks, but every time I would come across this red on the previous row, I would purl it so that it, I don't know if you can, oh yeah, you can see it there. You can see the little like purl bumps there. And then the bottom of the foot obviously doesn't have them. So you can see the difference there. I really should have blocked these. They would have looked nicer. One thing is, too, I'm also using the one that I don't like as much. But the reds, or the little weird orangey red, is way brighter in this sock, like, than in this one. This one, I feel like, is very white for some of it. I don't know. But those are the 3 pairs of socks that I've knit. So the stripy ones, the tiny human knit ones, are going into my sock drawer because they were finished in December. But these 2 guys, because I finished them in 2019, are going in my box of socks. So hopefully by the end of the year, I will have 12 brand new shiny pairs of socks. I've a couple more minutes before I have to go pick George up, so I will be quick with my whips. I have 2 that I'm going to share with you. One I'm really excited about, one I am not excited about at all. So this is one that you've seen before, and this is in my bag from Stitch Mischief, my Finch bucket, which is my most favorite thing. And it is holding my least favorite thing. This has been affectionately dubbed Justin's skirt. And this is going to be a Field Henley. It's a pattern by Lindsay Inoue. And it's just like a man's work woolly. Stanfield makes them. Lots of people wear them. So she actually made a pattern. Justin wears them every day, but he wanted like a nice one. So I'm making him a nice one. And it's, the pattern is actually made for a woman. So I've altered it to be more man-shaped because Justin he's very, he's a triangle. So that's what I took his measurements and used my gauge and I'm altering the pattern to be man-shaped, not lady-shaped. And the pattern, the problem I am having is not with the pattern at all. It's with the yarn and probably my choice of needles because I'm too stubborn to go and buy something with a less flexible needle. But what's been happening is I've had to block this twice now. And I tried steaming it once and it just wasn't quite enough. But what's been happening is if I knit too much here, let's see if you can see. Oh yeah, you can kind of see here. That's the last time I blocked it. Here down. Pull it up so that. So yeah, there's that line there. Below that has been blocked. Above it has not been. And what it wants to do is curl over. And like, it'll just keep curling. It won't ever get to the point where it's like heavy enough to not curl. So then I just block it, which has been about every 4 inches or so. Because if I try to knit it when it's curling like that, it just really hurts my hand and I can only knit a little bit. But if I block it, then I can knit at least 2 inches before it starts to really bother me. It's just the yarn is, it's Briggs and Little Sport, and it's just very, very rustic, and it's very, like, I don't know, I'm so used to knitting with merino sock yarn, or like, you know, very lovely, it's just very rustic, and it's very, like, not, just doesn't make my hands happy. So it was kind of half-ish gonna be a Christmas present, and there were plans to make myself one and Georgia one as well. I've totally scrapped the idea of making myself one, even though I have the yarn for it. I'm probably either gonna sell it or just give it away because I'm not knitting anything in this yarn again. Georgia's, I have different yarn that was left over from another project, so hers I will knit, but no, I'm not. Maybe I'll get some, like, Brooklyn Tweed Loft or something, because that's what the pattern actually calls for, and I think loft is lovely to work with. We'll see. Yeah. It was supposed to be a Christmas present. Now it's potentially going to be a birthday present. I don't know, in April, maybe. I told him next winter for sure, he will have his Henley. The next project that I'm working on is one that I am very excited about. And it is being held in my very dirty, I want to make beautiful things bag. And we actually sell this bag on our website. I think we have about 10 left. So if you've been thinking about it, I would do it now, because I'm not sure if we're going to be making any more. Not in the near future anyways. So if you've been thinking about it, I would go do it now. It has a zipper on the top, and then there's also a little, don't mind the coffee. You can tell that I use it a lot. A little zipper in the front there. And then I can also, like, sorry, this is now a sales pitch. I fold mine down and then use it as, like, a bucket. In this bucket, is the start of my northeasterly blanket. This is a new-ish pattern from, oh, I can't remember her name. Oh my goodness. Skinanigans, like shenanigans, but with skein. Clever, but really hard to say. You can find her on Instagram and Ravelry. But I'm sure she uses her real name on Ravelry, which I'm not sure what it is. Anyways, northeasterly blanket. It is a scrappy blanket, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Basically, you knit columns, and then you attach the next column, and then you attach here. And for the ends, she's actually, like, that's the back of it. And I've cut all my ends off, but she actually shows you how to weave in as you go. So that's been really nice, because I don't mind weaving ends in, but if I had to weave in all of these ends, I would not be making this. Yeah. And I'm really, it's very addicting. It's something that, like, this is definitely going to be a home knit, because like, it's something that I knit while I'm watching TV or something, but I still have to kind of pay attention to it. Like with vanilla socks or something stockinette, I can just do it and not pay attention to, not pay attention to what I'm doing. This I do have to pay a little bit of attention to, so it just stays at home. But it's really fun to work on and to kind of choose the next color. And what I've done too is I love scrappy blankets and I love scrappy things, but I've tried to start so many in the past couple of years, and I've ripped them all out because I don't like how they're coming along. Like, I just don't like how the colors go together. So what I did this time, and this is something that I don't know, I saw someone do on Instagram, which I just thought was brilliant, was go through and actually, like, have a color palette. So I have about maybe 10 to 15 different yarns that I have chosen that all kind of go together, and pull from those. So I'm not getting weird color combinations, because that's just what I didn't like about it before. Was like I would like something, and then like something would happen and it would just go in a weird direction, and like I just can't handle it. My stash is too all over the place to accommodate that. So I took some advice, I took some inspiration and just pulled a bunch of yarns that I loved that go nicely together in like a color palette, which also happens to a little bit be the color palette of our next book. So that it all flows nicely. So I think these are about all the colors that I'm using. Yeah. There's some of the self-striping, the tiny human knits. There's some, what's this one? It was the other one from that sock. What can I remember? Poppy yarn and fiber. There's some woolberry. There is some flock, this color. There's some, what's this? Black cat, hedgehog, plecky, ancient arts, 6 and 7. Tons of different yarns, all from different places. Really loving how this comes up. I've heard a lot of people being saying that they're a little bit intimidated by it. And my advice is to not be intimidated by it. It's not a hard pattern. It is, once you kind of understand how, like when I was joining the first or like the second column, the join as you go looked weird. But as you kind of keep going, it all comes together. So I put my faith in the pattern and did as it said, and look, she has all these wonderful tutorials for pretty much anything you would need to know about the pattern on YouTube, and the links are like in the pattern. So if you're having trouble with anything, there's a video to show you exactly how to do it. So yeah, it's, and then the weaving in as you go, I've never, as many times as I've tried, I've never been able to catch my floats properly, because that's essentially like how you do it, is you catch your tail yarn for a while, every second stitch or something like that. Anyways, I've never been able to do that, and so by watching this video and like now I understand how to do it. So maybe I'll even try doing some color work again one of these days, now that it's clicked a little bit more. Also, if you're like me and just can't handle the randomness of a scrappy blanket, make a color palette. Or there's some really cool ones. If you look on Ravelry, there's some where people have been like, there's a rainbow one that someone did, and it's like checkerboard. So they didn't do the random widths of the chevrons. They have their set thing, and then it's like white, and then pink, and then white, and then like it's this huge crazy rainbow. Another person is doing, I've seen like the temperature blankets, where you knit a square. It's not a square, but they did a little thing a day of the temperature, and like each color corresponds to a temperature range or a high of whatever. And so they've again started in one corner and then kind of like gone diagonally out. And I think that one's going to turn out pretty neat if they continue on doing that. I've decided to just do mine randomly in a set color palette. I do have some other stuff that I'm working on, but I think that's gonna be it for now. I'm gonna keep it a little short. Try to keep these a little shorter, a little more casual, a little less mini, a little more knitty. I don't know. I guess I'll share a little bit about what we're doing this weekend because it's fun, and if you want to hear about my life. If not, then thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. If you want to hear about what I'm doing, I'm going to tell you right now. We live in BC, and kind of this year has felt like the year of, or last year I should say, has felt like the year of not doing anything. We didn't do anything over the winter, really. We didn't do anything in the fall. Like usually we go camping in the fall. We didn't do that. The summer was either way too hot or way too smoky to do anything from the forest fires and stuff. So it just felt like a lot of the things we wanted to do, we didn't do. We also realized that if we want to do something, we have to put it on the calendar, and we have to say, okay, like this is the day that we're going to do this thing, because then it won't ever happen. Like we don't just wake up early and be like, let's go, do this. That's not us. If we don't have a plan for the day, we're waking up not waking up, but we're in our pajamas until noon and maybe longer. If there's not a plan for the day, we don't really do anything aside from go to the park or go for a little walk or something. Anyways, long story. We put on the calendar that we're going to go to Manning Park. And it's a ski hill. It's about 2 hours away or so, an hour and a half. And it's a ski hill that I used to work at. And we were going to, there's like a hotel there, and there's some cabins and stuff there. Very small. There's there's the one hotel, there's some cabins, there's a ski hill, there's a lake, and then there's like a little restaurant. It's not like it's not like Whistler or anything where it's a whole like town thing. Like there's no clubs, there's a little bar. That's about it. Anyways, I used to work there, and Justin, he grew up really close to there, so I haven't been back in years. So we decided to take Georgia up for the day. We're gonna wake up early and go and take her tobogganing, because we didn't get any snow this year either. So we're gonna go up and take her sledding, and then go have lunch. And then his parents live about 45 minutes away from there, so we're gonna go spend the night at his parents' house and then come back. So we're gonna have a little mountain adventure, which I think will be really fun. One of my goals for this year is to like plan something like this, like not exactly like that, but to plan something fun once a month, I think is a good goal. And like put it on the calendar and be like, okay, this is the day we're going to do this thing. Like we've been talking about going to, there's a mining museum up past Vancouver, about an hour and a half away, that we've both said for years we've wanted to go to. We've never been to. So like, that's something that'll go on the list when it opens up, and we'll go to the mining museum, and then maybe stay, there's camping spots up there, so maybe we'll go for a camp or something. Like, I don't know. Anyways, I really should get going. I have to pick George up from school. I hope you enjoyed my impromptu, not planned at all, I'm probably not going to be edited podcast episode. I really enjoyed getting back into it. I'm sorry if I said and like and lots of dead space. I'm a little rusty, and I hope you don't mind. Let me know what you think about scrappy projects. I've always been a little on the fence about them, but I'm super excited about this one. Yeah, one more thing about that too is I'm not actually making a blanket. I'm making a what's called ruana, and it's like a blanket with a slit up the middle, so you can wear it like over your shoulders. There's one at my mom's house, which is where I go, and she doesn't live there right now. Like, she spends half her time in Arizona. So when she's gone, I use her house as my office. So when I'm doing computer work and I get chilly, like, I wear it all the time when I'm there. So I decided that I needed one for home because she's going to be home soon, and I'll have to use this office. Not office, it's literally a corner of my living room. Anyways, Thanks again for joining me, and hopefully I will see you in the next week or two. Keep your eyes open on Ravelry if you entered any of the knit-alongs or giveaways. I'll be posting those probably not this weekend, probably next week. All right, have a great day, everyone. I will talk to you soon. Bye.